They smile when you win, but their eyes tell another story. They praise you, then vanish when you need them most. You walk away from every conversation feeling drained, confused, doubtful, like you're always the one saying sorry. Deep down, you sense it. You're being played. And here's the brutal truth, this isn't random. It's a system. A script. A silent war. Machiavelli didn't call them manipulators, he called them strategists. And today you become one too. Manipulation doesn't start with words, it starts with your ignorance. The moment you believe everyone has good intentions, you've already lost. You're in a psychological battlefield where the smartest don't yell, they study. Where the most dangerous smile while they cut deep. If you still think being nice will protect you, you're already a target. Machiavelli never said, trust no one, he said, trust only when it benefits you. That's rule number one in a world built on influence. Since childhood, you've been manipulated by parents who used guilt as love, by friends who cloaked control as concern, by a society that sells submission as virtue. And you accepted it. Why? Because manipulators don't ask for your permission, they ask for your confusion. Machiavelli saw it centuries ago, the powerful don't rule with brute force, they rule by crafting illusions. A manipulator doesn't pull strings, he makes you tie the knot yourself. Look around, the flattery, the guilt trips, the fake apologies, the just trying to help speeches. These aren't kindness, they're weapons. You're being studied. Your insecurities cataloged. Your habits tracked. And when the moment is right, you'll be nudged, pressured, controlled without even noticing. The most effective manipulation doesn't feel like manipulation. It feels like love, like friendship, like respect. That's why you must kill your emotional reflexes. Stop rewarding kindness blindly. Stop giving energy to those who haven't earned your trust. Manipulators thrive on your politeness, your silence, your desperation to be liked. And here's the harsh reality, if you crave approval, you are already controlled. Machiavelli's genius was in his emotional detachment. He didn't see people as they appeared, he saw their intentions. A kind gesture could be bait. A compliment, currency. A request, a leash. To become immune, you must think like him. Ask, what does this person gain from my reaction? Every word, whether it's flattery, criticism, or concern, pause. Dissect. Analyze. This isn't paranoia, it's power. Because the emotional man is manipulated. The Machiavellian man is strategic. Emotional purity without boundaries is weakness. If your kindness knows no limit, your mind has no defense. Manipulators need just one thing, your assumptions. They'll act weak to make you drop your guard. Pretend to need you so you feel valuable. Agree with you so you stop questioning. That's not empathy, it's entrapment. So start asking what no one wants you to ask. Why do they need me to believe this? What happens if I say no? What are they hiding? Machiavelli believed power belongs to those who define the terms, so define them. Set your rules, your pace, your expectations. And when someone tries to rush you, charm you, guilt you, you stop. You reset. You reclaim your control. Remove the emotion, insert strategy. If someone flinches when you stop reacting, it's because they were trying to control you. If they push harder when you create distance, they were never genuine. Let them squirm in discomfort when you refuse to play their game, that's when their mask starts to slip. They won't scream, they'll whisper. They won't demand, they'll suggest. And before you know it, your decisions are no longer your own. You begin to second-guess yourself, wondering why you feel hesitant, why their words echo in your mind like chains. That's manipulation, quiet, subtle, and deadly. Manipulators don't overpower you, they don't have to. They infiltrate your judgment, twisting guilt into obedience, confusion into dependence, and flattery into loyalty. And you, unaware, call it love, friendship, or leadership. Machiavelli would warn you, never judge someone by how they act when they want something, judge them by what they make you give up. Manipulators weaponize guilt to keep you submissive. They make you feel that saying no is selfish when in truth, your boundaries threaten their grip. So they paint your strength as cruelty, your clarity as arrogance. They destabilize your reality. One day you're the hero, the next you're the villain. They twist your words, rewrite the past, and pretend nothing ever happened. It's not about logic, it's about control. And when you're close to breaking, they use praise not out of admiration, but as bait. Emotional bait dressed as affection. But Machiavelli had the answer. The moment you spot the pattern, act. Don't wait, don't argue, don't explain. Just observe. Then reclaim control. When you stop reacting emotionally, you strip away their only power. Detachment becomes your weapon. Calm becomes your resistance. Unreadability becomes your armor. You don't need to fight them, you need to become immune to them. That's how you win before the game even starts. Because manipulation isn't about what they do to you, it's about what they make you do to yourself. They don't need to break you physically or scream at you, they just need to erode your confidence, make you question your thoughts, doubt your instincts. And once they've done that, they own you. But the moment you stop doubting yourself, everything shifts. You reclaim your power. You no longer seek their validation. You no longer feel guilty for setting boundaries. You no longer second-guess your instincts. In that space of inner certainty, their influence shatters. Because they can only survive with your compliance, and when you stop giving it, they lose all control. They feed off your emotional reactions, your need to be liked, accepted, seen as good. The moment you detach from that need, their weapons go dull. Praise no longer blinds you. Guilt no longer binds you. Flattery no longer fools you. And that's when you transcend the game. Detachment isn't about being cold, it's about observing without being owned. You hear them, you see them, but they no longer move you. You see them for what they are, not what they want you to believe. Machiavelli taught that power isn't in how much you give, it's in how much you protect. The more you guard your energy, your focus, your clarity, the stronger you become. Your boundaries become a fortress, and manipulators? They break against it. Like water, they can't seep through. They may attempt to twist, to undermine, to create doubt, but you remain still, steady, untouched. In the game of manipulation, your greatest weapon is indifference. The less you crave their approval, the more control you gain. When they realize their tactics no longer affect you, they have two choices: give up or reveal their true selves, weak, insecure, and desperate. Don't be swayed by their pleas. Don't get entangled in their web of guilt and confusion. Learn to recognize the signs early and detach. Silence your emotions. Let them chase your attention and watch them fail. The moment you stop engaging, the power shifts. They lose, you win. Manipulation survives on your reaction. Cut off your reaction and they're left powerless. Stay calm. Stay composed. Stay detached. That's how you let them know their game is over. And from that point forward, you decide the rules, whether to play at all. As you master detachment, your vision sharpens. You begin to see the patterns, the tactics, the quiet traps they set. You watch them play the long game, weaving influence with subtlety. But without your emotional engagement, they lose their edge. They can no longer pull the strings of your thoughts, your decisions, or your sense of self-worth. Remember, manipulation is about control of your time, your energy, your choices, your emotions. But once you realize no one can control your mind without your permission, you break free. You stop allowing them to dictate how you feel or what you do. You reclaim your power. Yes, they'll test you. They'll push harder, probe deeper, look for weakness. But when you are rooted in your truth, grounded in your worth, their efforts collapse. Eventually, they notice. And that's when they panic. They escalate, try harder, get louder. But here's the secret: the more they push, the clearer their motives become. And when their motives are obvious, their influence evaporates. Manipulators thrive in shadows, in ambiguity. Shine the light of awareness and their tricks fall apart. You become unreadable. They can't predict your next move. That unpredictability disturbs them. That discomfort weakens them. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop caring about what they use to control you. You stop reacting to guilt trips, praise, flattery. You respond only when necessary, and when you do, it's measured, deliberate, calm. That's emotional intelligence. That's true power. The ability to stay centered no matter who's trying to pull you off balance. Machiavelli's wisdom remains clear: never let others decide your path. If you don't control your decisions, someone else will. When you stop being predictable, stop giving them emotional reactions, stop showing vulnerability, they lose their grip. Their influence fades. And here's the most powerful truth: once you've mastered yourself, you don't need to fight. You don't even need to confront them. Your silence, your steadiness, your refusal to play the game, that's enough to dismantle their entire strategy. You don't need to argue. You don't need to prove anything. You simply withdraw your energy, your emotional investment, and let them reveal themselves. In doing so, the game shifts. It becomes chess, and you're already several moves ahead. You've studied their patterns, anticipated their tactics, and now you're immune. When you detach with focus and remain committed to your own goals, nothing can shake you, not guilt, not praise, not fear. You stop playing by their rules. You create your own. And in that moment, you transcend the manipulation. You reclaim your power, your control, and most importantly, your peace. As you gain mastery over your emotions and choices, the dynamics around you begin to change. Manipulators lose their grip when they can't predict you. You become unreadable, and that terrifies them. They thrive on consistency. They need to know how you'll react. But once you stop responding on cue, their leverage disappears. You're no longer a puppet dancing to their strings. Their tactics fall flat. Their guilt trips lose impact. Their flattery becomes noise. Why? Because you no longer need their validation. You've discovered the power of silence and observation. Manipulators try to drag you into their storm of confusion, but silence? Silence is the one thing they can't control. When you stay calm and detached, you become like water, fluid, adaptive, yet untouchable. They can't grasp you. They can't direct you. You simply flow beyond their reach. At the heart of this power is a profound truth. The more immune you become to manipulation, the more you empower others to break free too. You stop being a passive player in someone else's game. You become the one who defines the terms. You set the boundaries. You control the energy. Your peace is no longer up for negotiation. They may try different tactics, guilt, charm, praise, confusion, but your clarity protects you. When you're rooted in purpose and self-respect, their efforts are nothing more than background noise. Your silence is no longer emptiness, it's a fortress. It shields your peace, your identity, your truth. In the end, manipulators only have as much power as you give them. Once you stop surrendering your control, their influence fades. You're no longer a pawn, they are. And their attempts to twist your reality? Useless. You've already won. Not by fighting, but by refusing to play their game at all. That's the highest form of mastery. That's where your power lies, in your ability to stay unshaken, no matter what they try. And as you grow in this power, something else happens. The world starts to see you differently. Not as someone they can manipulate, but someone they must respect. The energy you project begins to shift. It's no longer rooted in compliance, neediness, or seeking approval. Instead, it becomes steady, grounded, unshakable. You no longer wait for validation. You no longer chase approval. Everything about you, your actions, your words, even your silence, sends one powerful message. You are in control, and no one can shake that. Manipulators may still try their old tricks, but now their attempts feel hollow, like a slow drip against a stone wall. Insignificant, powerless. They may try to plant doubt, stir confusion, or undermine your confidence. But your response? Silence. You refuse to engage. That silence becomes your shield. Every word they throw bounces back, exposing their desperation. The more you master this detachment, the more those who once tried to manipulate you begin to pull away. They recognize the truth. You are no longer a safe target. Their strategies no longer work. Some may question your motives or try to label your strength as coldness, but that's not a reflection of your character. It's a reflection of their discomfort. You've become someone they can no longer control. That's power, and not everyone is ready for it. As your presence evolves, the people around you begin to shift. Some will admire your strength, your calm, your ability to remain unbothered. They'll be drawn to your grounded energy. Others, however, will feel threatened. They'll sense they can no longer pull your strings, and they may try to provoke you, challenge you, even accuse you. But understand this, their reaction isn't about you. It's about their loss of control. They're desperate to access an emotional state you no longer give away freely. But here's the truth. Once you see through their tactics, you no longer view them as enemies. You see them for what they are. People lost in a game you've already outgrown. People seeking something outside themselves to fill a void within. And that realization is your final step toward freedom. You don't need to fight. You simply don't play. You rise above the game entirely. And in doing so, your power doesn't just hold, it multiplies. It becomes quiet, subtle, unshakable, and yet it commands respect without saying a word. This is where real freedom begins. You're no longer a puppet of manipulation, guilt, or emotional warfare. You respond to life on your own terms. You move with purpose. You choose your peace, and that calm becomes the foundation of your power. You've broken free from the emotional chains that once held you captive. You've become someone who understands the game but no longer needs to play it. Because the real power? It's not in conquering others, it's in mastering yourself. Your reactions, your need for approval, your own inner world. That is the ultimate freedom. That is the real victory. And if this message lit something in you, gave you strength, clarity, or reminded you of your power, don't just scroll. Like this video. Subscribe. Because here, we're not teaching you to please others. We're teaching you how to own yourself. So no one else ever can.